Alright, everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of Best Brew Ever. Today, we're not brewing, still with the same thing, some financial situations, got to get the truck running. But we are going to talk about today is something that I've been waiting for, a lot of people here in Indiana have been waiting for a while, is the brewery Yuengling came to Indiana at the beginning of this month. It was the 6th of April. And I was very excited about it. And because before we could get it here, people from other places, if you knew somebody who was going over state lines, sometimes they would bring beers back, or you could get, if you went somewhere, you could get try, Yuenglings in Ohio. I think was one of the closest places people here in Indianapolis would get it, and I remember it tasting like really good, like it had like a hoppy flavor, some that I remember. And I was always thinking, man, if we could get this here, it'd be kind of like, when you were low on cash, it'd be a good alternative to drinking the cheap stuff, which is why I started doing this series anyways, because I was tired of drinking the cheap flavorless beers. And now here I am again, down on my not really so much down on my luck, but I guess financially I don't have a lot of money to throw at making beer right now. So I figure this is the solution, right? Yuengling came. It's got the hoppiness. It's a macro brewery that you can kind of get behind. I think, in my opinion, because it is still American owned. It's the oldest brewery in America right now. So it comes here to Indiana. I grabbed some. First one I grabbed was the can, because I remember even having like hoppy flavor out of the can. And the first one I crack open and I drink, I'm like, this don't taste the same. And I thought at the time might have been because I had been drinking some other hoppy beers. So I was like, well, maybe it's just not as hoppy as the other beers I was drinking at the time. So then, even, I had bought a case of it, so the next day, nothing. And actually I had like a banana flavor, as I recall, was the first one I drank that I had bought since it came to Indiana. And a cousin of mine said, man, you got to get the bottles. That's where it's at. And I was like, I still remember the cans being good. The bottles. So I got the bottles. And this is not the first bottle. I've drank many of them since. But I do think the bottles are better in flavor. If you can see, that is a green bottle. And anybody knows about beer and light skunks beer, and this green bottle is not going to hold out all the light. That's why most craft beers come in brown bottles, because they hold out more light, like growlers mostly are the brown glass. But I think it works in this case, because I think it is skunking the beer, but it's kind of like Heineken. It's got that skunkiness to it, and it kind of works. I mean, it's not for everybody, not everyone likes it, but I think between the two, the can or the bottle, I like the bottle better, because it's given just another layer of flavor from that skunkiness, and a little bit more bitterness from it too. And I prefer it, especially, but I think it's $20 for case, 24 of the bottles, and like 17, $18 for the cans. So just pay a little bit more and get the bottles. My opinion. But for some people who might not have tried Yuenglings. It's Yuengling. Some people say Yuengling, Yangalang, Yangalang. But we're gonna go ahead and kind of resample the can here and see what it's tasting like today. It kind of seems like it's a little bit different every day. I've even drank it warm, which that some people want to barf when they drink warm beer, but I mean, I think when you drink it at warmer temperatures, you actually taste everything, what the beer really is, and the flavor. So here we go. It's got nice color, and it says the original amber beer. So right off looking at it, the color's great. I mean, I give it that already over the other macro beers. Even though macro beers will come out with, or macro breweries will come out with amber this, or they try to make their pale ales after craft beer caught on so big. This one, as far as I know, I haven't been an avid Yuengling traditional lager drinker for my whole life. I never knew about it until probably I was in like my mid to late 20s. So great color, give them that. Nothing different, not getting hop aroma, not getting much there. It's a crisp lager, I guess you would say, and that's nothing bad with that. Nothing wrong. You're on a hot day, you want a nice, refreshing, crisp lager, right? It's nice and cold. It's thirst quenching. Not getting much bitterness out of it. And I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's either like the amber malts, or maybe the yeast. I don't know what yeast they use in this, or I don't know, anything about it. Let me get us at the kind of like in your nasal passages in the back. You get the banana. I don't know. It might just be me, but I get a banana flavor out of it, and especially like I said, after I drank kind of a hoppy. I don't know what they were. I don't think they were lagers, but I had a more hoppy light ales. And then I drank one of these, and man, it was like straight banana. So as it goes, am I giving up craft beer for this? Hell no. Would I drink this, say, at the track? Hell yes. And for not everybody from Indianapolis, track meaning the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is right around the corner in the month of May. I definitely think if I don't have anything made, I'm definitely taking some Yuenglings, man. I mean, and not to put it to where Yuengling, because it's came here, that we're not drinking Indianapolis, Indiana craft brews anymore. Craft, breweries around here, I try to support them as much as I can. But the money, man, geez, I can't afford, you know what, $14 for a 4 pack. You know, it's just, I'm not rich. I'm not a rich man. I'm an average Joe, average Sam. And you know, if I had the cash to where I didn't worry about it, yes, of course, I would support my local breweries. Um, and I probably wouldn't even drink Yuengling. But it's the affordability and great color, not a bad taste, and it's American owned. So, although it would be nice if it was Indiana owned, it's not. It's was it Pottsville, Pennsylvania? There's nothing wrong with that. So we're gonna go here and try our bottle. This is the exact same beer. I'm not gonna pour it into the glass. You already see the color and everything on that. Although you get the skunk. It's a totally different. Maybe I should pour it in another glass. And that's a different beer. That's a different flavor. And I can only say, coming from the skunkiness, now it's not overwhelming. It's very nice. I'm not getting the banana in this one. You get more of a bitterness, which I kind of remembered with the cans though. That's the thing that's blowing my mind. Did I just make it all up? That I just, because I couldn't have it, I made it better in my head? I would definitely prefer the bottles. I mean, this one, the can definitely tastes sweeter, and with that mild banana flavor, and this one definitely tastes more bitter. You know, you can kind of get a hint of the skunk, but you're really not tasting it. It just tastes more bitter, which is what I want. Because bitter is an added layer. I mean, it's a crisp lager. There's not a whole lot of crazy flavors, and if you don't have, you know, you're not going to get a lot of malt out of it because it's, you know, it's a lager. But, and if it's not hopped, you know, up, what do you got? You got pretty much what all these other lagers are. So I think if it's the bottle, that's what I'm leaning to, because I mean, it should be the same beer recipe. Yuengling, traditional lagers, right? I don't see any difference other than the can and the bottle. Can tastes sweeter with the little banana, and this in the bottle doesn't taste skunky. That doesn't taste like a Heineken, but I can almost guarantee that the green bottle is what's making the difference. All in all, the bad part, you can't take bottles out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Can't take cans, so I'll probably just take some cans. But it's no big deal. So if you never had it, that's what you have to look forward to. Uh, it's not the greatest beer in all the world, but it's not anywhere near the worst. Um, I would definitely put it up against any macro brewery, and like I said, price. Uh, I think it's got the best color of any macro brewery, but I don't know if that's what it's always been. I don't know if this is the recipe. I don't know how long this has been. I haven't done research on it. Maybe I will. I guess I should have before I made a video about it, right? But I say it's definitely, and also the American made aspect, or American owned aspect. I'm definitely going with this from now on for a cheap, uh, refreshing lager. Uh, Unless I make them myself, that's what I'm gonna go to. Speaking of lagers, if you remember in the last episode, we did a double barrel brew day, which were two lagers. We had a Mexican style, which turned out to be what it's looking like, a Vienna lager, which I love anyway, so that's fine. But I thought it was gonna be a kind of like a Corona style, Modelo style uh, beer, lighter in color, but it doesn't look that way. But that's perfectly fine, because I had got a recipe off the internet. That's what I'm talking about on one of the beers. But that's perfectly fine. That's going to be great. If it tastes, good, I might continue that recipe in bigger batch form. But I do want to get like a lighter um, lager recipe going, just for like some cookouts or something like that. Not everybody in the family are like hardcore craft beer lovers, and I just want to make something for everybody to enjoy. But the other barrel of the brew was now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what I was thinking. Why I don't know why I did what I did. It was like 2 pounds 2 row, which is fine, and then the rest I think it was like Crystal 120 or something like that. And I don't know. I guess that's just the experiment. But they're both looking dark in there, and I fermented them at. I think I tried to keep them around 60s, like mid 60s or something like that. But I did have a problem. It's either both 1 gallon batches. I took 1 tube of White Labs Mexican lager yeast. Pretty much kind of try to cut it in half here, half there. I figured that would be enough. I wouldn't have to make a yeast starter or anything like that because there would be plenty of yeast. 1 tube is for 5 gallons, supposedly. So I figured half tube for, a gallon apiece would be fine. But it didn't take off, and I was like, here we go again. Lagers are like problem children, there's you always have to have something you got to look out for, and it's always worrying you about something. But it didn't take off, so I was like, well, I'm going to heat up the temperature back here, because this is where I do my fermenting too. So I heated up. I got it hotter and hotter, and I mean, it didn't go crazy, nothing like that. I got in like the 70s. And I was like, well, now it's going to take off, right? No, it didn't do anything. I was like, man, I only left it for like a day, I think. You gotta understand, this was a while ago. So I think I left it for a day. Still nothing. And they say, you know, you got to be careful, don't shock the yeast. So I said, to hell with it. I'm putting in my my Keyser. I was already, I think I'd already, no, I had not already drank all the beers. I still had some beers in there to drink, but I put them in there. I think I had them at like 50. I think I kept it at like 50 degrees or something like that. And I don't know. I think maybe within the day, they were bubbling. So I guess the Mexican lager yeast does not like the heat, which is weird. I guess. So because you know, some people say you can ferment some lagers yeast strains at higher temperatures and still get, you know, good results. But I just wanted to get it going, but that didn't work. So maybe next time I'm just gonna go straight to the Keyser to chill it or get it colder. But so I, you know, let it ferment, and it fermented well, you know, vigorous, just like a normal fermentation. And I did that for I think a week, and then I did my diacetyl rest, or however you say it. And so I took it out. And a lot of people do it in, you know, steps and all that kind of stuff, but you got to remember I don't have a dedicated fermentation chamber, so I was using my Keyser, which I had beer in. I didn't want to warm it up and everything. I was still drinking the beer. So I just took it out, left it at room temperature for 2 or 3 days, put it back in the Keyser, and then I did start to slowly step down. I think 5 degrees a day, until, you know, I had, you know, killed them kegs and still got it down. Because I mean, it doesn't matter if I was dropping the temperature of, you know, the beer I was drinking, it was still good. So I dropped it to, I think, around 40, and then I let it chill for maybe a couple weeks like that, or a week, and then I think I dropped it down to about 35, 30. And I don't want to go crazy. I want to freeze this stuff, but it's looking good, and I think as of right now, I have exactly a week, I think, or a little less than a week, until it's ready to, I guess, bottle. I don't know. The thing of it is, I'm not used to doing small batch brewing. I'm used to just throw it in the kegs. I haven't done any bottling in a long time. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this. I don't think I have enough bottles for, it's 2 gallons, so it's like 20 some beers. I don't think I have enough. But I was thinking about saving some 2-liter pop bottles and getting one of the ball lock caps that go on them and try to carbonate like that. I'm not sure, because the ratio really doesn't work out. I think those caps are like $12 a piece. I'm kind of thinking maybe I could just the priming sugar and put a couple in the 2 liters, and then a couple in, 12-ounce bottles, and just try to do it like that. That's going to be kind of difficult, but I'll crunch the numbers and I'll try to figure that out when time comes. But that's about it for this episode. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to. I really, it's warm out now. I think Next step, I'm gonna go buy a hose. So if you remember, if you watched the past episodes, my hose broke right as we was getting into the fall and winter, and so I need, I want to do that so I can hook up my wart chiller. I can start getting small grain going again. But like I said, limited funds. I might have to do a couple more uh, extracts, and I might actually, start doing some extracts off camera, which I kind of did already. But I might just do some extracts off camera just to keep, some cheap extracts to keep some beer on tap, and then just show the more complex, maybe all grain beers. But I got a couple things in mind. I'm thinking about doing. I want to do an ESB, and that Final Gravity homebrew supply shop. They got that Neapolitan beer, which that's still on my mind. So I'm thinking about picking one of them up. I want to do a Kolsch, which I did a couple years back, and I actually recorded it. That was actually going to be the very first episode of Best Brew Ever, before it was even called Best Brew Ever. It was just I was wanting to put something on YouTube, but I don't know, I messed something up. I can't remember what happened, but I think I might still have the footage, a little bit of the footage somewhere. But I made that beer to take to the track, and it came out delicious. It was so good. Perfect for the track. It was, like I said, it was a Kolsch. Had a little, it wasn't super light. It had a little hue to it. Nice color. So much flavor. A lot of body. It was really good. And I'm thinking about doing another one of those. But time and money are going. Everything's going crazy. Work's slowing down now. So I take off. Work goes crazy to where I don't have no time to do anything, and then it slows down. Now I don't have the money to do it. What are you gonna do? But I'm gonna get taken care of. We're gonna get it all done, and get some more things for you guys to watch. I got some building things coming up. Hopefully, if we get the truck fixed. But we'll see. I'm drinking these and relax for the rest of the night. You guys enjoy your night. Thank you for the new subscribers, the old subscribers, people who comment, people who watch. Love you guys. This is really fun, actually, when it's not stressing me out about editing and everything. But hey, this is Best Brew Ever. Thank you.